Okay, so I've just been told that I am in a place called Feniaoling. Okay, and I've been brought here by the teachers I'm working with because this is the end point. In fact, behind me now, over there, is the northernmost tip of the central mountain range of Taiwan. And these rocks that are exposed on the roadside here, you can see behind me, these rocks are exposed that are representative, if you like, of these very old rocks that go right down the spine of Taiwan from one end to the other. And they've come up from very deep in the earth, so they are metamorphic rocks, and they are quite a high grade of metamorphism, which means they have been heated and under a lot of pressure very deep in the earth prior to being uplifted along this plate boundary and then sort of exposed here. So these are the oldest rocks in Taiwan. So those needle shapes are a type of mineral called an amphibole, which is quite hard to identify specific crystals mostly. In my case, it's definitely hard because I don't know much about mineralogy. But anyway, these rocks are the oldest rocks found in Taiwan, and they've been uplifted along the central spine of the country to form the mountain range, or part of the central mountain range in Taiwan. These teachers here I'm with are actually not very experienced with geology, but their enthusiasm and interest in learning anything they possibly can is really great. So that wherever I want to go, they just jump in the car and take me there and follow together as a group because they just want to learn stuff and they see it as an opportunity, which is pretty nice, really good fun. So we're just at the end of the road and there's a really great spot here. So we're finding some different kind of presentations of the rock. And if you're a geologist, you can tell me what you think it might be. Because I'm not much of a mineralogist, but over here we did find some really nice, very coarse looking amphibolites. I'll just pick this one up over here. So we think that is amphiboles and light coloured minerals. So everyone's quite excited having a look around. I think Tai Ching wants to take that one home. So the oldest rocks in Taiwan, or at least the northern tip of a band of very old rocks. So we've just come over to our next stop, which is I keep having to learn these names. Nanao River, the Nanao River. And these rocks, there's a huge boulders in this riverbed, and in the distance behind me, up there, is the central mountains of Taiwan, and it just looks like these massive rockfall scars on a very steep face. So this is a rapidly uplifting and eroding landscape, and so you can see these rocks all around. And the one we're looking at just now is very cool because it's got these chunks of mixed other rocks all in it as well. So we're all admiring this one here with pieces of fine-grained, schisty-looking rocks mixed up inside very coarse-grained, sort of nicey, crystalline, granite-looking rock. So that's pretty cool. And some of the rocks here are really huge, which says that they are coming from a very close source area. So that's not surprising because the slopes of the mountains all around here are very steep, and no doubt some of these rocks rumbled down the hillsides into the valley sometime maybe in the last few thousand years. What a fantastic place to bring some students to look at rapid erosion. And now I'm going to swap the camera around and show you the view from the other way. There's the range. I don't know if this gives much of an impression, but standing here it looks really steep and with huge gouges from rockfalls, and then forest everywhere. And here's the river valley. And a lot of mud in it actually. It must have, this looks sort of areas where the shingle and the mud have built up. And there's my friends, the teachers. So this is what we're doing here, is we're trying to work out how to bring geology to some of the students. And here's a cool little thing, I think, I'm going to find in a moment. Sometimes, if you look at a cross section through flattish pebbles in a riverbed, they tend to be leaning upwards like that in the direction of the current. So there's an example. And that's just a natural thing, because as the river flows it flips over any pebbles that are facing, sort of pointing upwards upstream, flips them over, and so they all end up pointing upwards downstream. These are very flat, these pebbles. Maybe there's some sort of slaty sort of rock, fine-grained rock, mixed up with all sorts of other metamorphic rocks like this one. And this one with all sorts of mangled up schist layers. All right.